Assalamu alaikum. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah wa rabbil alameen. Akibatun lil mustaqim. Allah fi kul umri esta'in. Allah fi kul umri amjid. Innahu rabbi yuhibbu mu'min الذي يصلي وعبادته وصلواته منا المخلصين محمد هو سيدنا مقبوبنا إنه كان رسول نبيا صلوات الله تعالى وسلامه عليه إخوانه من الأنبياء والمرسلون أجمعين صلوات ربي تسليماتهم عليه. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته للإخواني وأخواتي في دين. السلام على من اتبع هدى للإخواني وأخواتي في أفريقيا وأوروبا وأمريكا والكاريبيان وآسيا وكل مكان. الحمد لله رب العالمين. أهلا وسهلا بكم. كيف حالكم مع الله؟ Assalamu alaikum, my dear sister Amina, or my dear brother El Raku and Abodi. Assalamu alaikum, rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Leo Ikwani. I think, I just came off a very emotional series on the Black man and his family. And for those who are interested in dealing with Pan-African issues and also the ins and out of the Black man as far as the Islamic perspective, you can check out my previous, no volume. You can't hear me? You can? Okay. Sorry about that. Our dear brother said there's no, okay, it says fine now. Okay. This emotional series, and especially the last part where I was dealing with our ancestral brother, Malcolm, and dealing with the African Arabs, which is an important topic because there is a lot of contention among the African Americans in particular about their ethnicity and if they're really African or not, if they are brothers or not. And so I got deep into that, and it was a very emotional, the last of the part of the series dealing with Malcolm, alayhi salatu salam, Rahim Allah. And I, like I say, that really took a lot out of me because he is one of my favorite men that influenced me quite a bit coming to Islam. So now we're going to go back into the Aqeedah Islamiyya, the Islamic faith, Asul fi Aqeedah. But we're going to be dealing with a topic now that is running rampant everywhere. And matter of fact, I had people who I had entrusted, so to speak, meaning I even vouched for them. And then I found out they're involved in this, and it was kind of hurtful. But I have to talk about this because the spirituality is entering into Islam, and there's no basis for it in Islam. Every Sheikh Islam have dealt with this issue, and they've issued fatwas against it. But yet and still, it's running rampant, especially among the African Americans in particular. And they have been trained so well now to infuse this with Islam. And so this has to be dealt with. And I'm not going to call out any names. That's not the purpose here, but it's to give you the background behind it. So when these these individuals get on YouTube and they begin to push this particular concept, you'll understand and you'll be able to deal with them. And these individuals, we have a name for them in Arabic, and we have a name for them under the Sharia. And these type of individuals, if you have a belief, and say you're Muslim, you say you're Muslim, but you have the belief that you mix some things from the cosmos, or you have some things with nature, and or you believe that something when you have a ailment, jealousy or hatred, and you go seek the Ghair Muslim, who, psychiatrists and so forth and so on. That's on you and subhanahu wa ta'ala. But when you begin to broadcast this belief to other Muslims and try to con them and bring them to this, now you are a mujrim. You are a criminal under the Sharia. Because this is a wayward, backward, this is jahiliyyah, meaning this is backwardness. This is what was happening way, way back, thousands of years ago, where they introduced this, tried to introduce Islam. It was dealt with harshly. But now, since no one's hardly living under the Sharia, these people here can make their rounds, and they can go on YouTube and they can fool a lot of people. And it's not right. The Rohaniyin are the people, we call them in Arabic, who are the spiritualists. They're mixing spirituality, meaning here they believe that you yourself possess the power to change things. You yourself have an inner soul that you can do things, correct things. If you have jealousies, you have jealousies, envy, or you have hatred, or something, or you have some psychological malaise. They believe that you can use this, and you can use your inner soul to actually combat all of these things. This is contradictory of what is believed in Islam. This is why the Muslims who do this or doing that are outside of Islam, because it's shirk billah. Bottom line is shirk billah. Because what happens is when you broadcast something like this and you tell the person, oh, you look at your inner soul, there is a medium between you, yourself, your heart, and here's subhanahu wa ta'ala above here. In between here is the netherland, meaning you have the jinn, ins and jinn, you understand? And Islam. When you begin to do this, you conjure up the shayateen, also the demons. This is why when these Muslims who promote this try to tell you that this is the best way to cure your ailments. Now, we're not talking about sick when you get a cold or when you get COVID or something like this. No, you got to take measures for that. We're not talking about that. We're talking about the human spirit, meaning you have jealousies, you have hatred, and so forth and so on. Or you have racism and whatnot. And this type of philosophy is not right for the Muslim. And it take you out, because subhanahu wa ta'ala will move his hand from you. Because if you notice, these people who are involved in spirituality, they begin to have psychological problems. And you also know something too, as I will get into, they take drugs, meaning to alter the mind. In Islam, we don't have that. If you, brothers and sisters, if you think about something, you think about the Ummah, and you look at all we have 1.2 billion, I think, Muslims now. You look at a lot of the Muslims. The Muslims who suffer from these malaises have been wayward from Islam. You see the Sheikh Islams, you see the students of knowledge, you see the strong Muslims and the strong mu'mineen. You notice they don't have these malaise. It's interesting, isn't it? You think about that. They don't have this malaise. But when the Muslim moves away from subhanahu wa ta'ala, he stops to pray. He stops to make dhikr Allah. He doesn't make wudu anymore. He doesn't practice the tenets of Islam. Then he's subject to this spirituality. He began to adopt it, and he then plays with the shayateen. The shayateen is the demons in Arabic, and the jinn and so forth. He gets to playing with them. what happens is this point, subhanahu wa ta'ala is drawn from you now. He's gone from you. So now he leaves you open to this because you have made a declaration to go to spirituality, and you decided now this is the route I'm going to go. This is how I'm going to fix things. This is what I'm going to tell my friends. This is what I'm going to try to bring people to. Subhanahu wa ta'ala says, okay, he's gone. And what the shayatin will do, the demons and the jinn who or the mujrimeen among, because we have good jinn, we have bad jinn. We have to understand that. What they'll do is they'll give you some victories here and there. You'll have some little malaises of the heart. They'll give you something so they can trap you further. And they'll give you something and you say, oh yeah, you see what I did? I meditated. I did this. And look what happened now. I got the car I wanted. Now they got you trapped. As you begin to meditate, you got further away. Some even stop to pray. Some pray only sometimes. And then when they do pray, they have a hard time even talking to subhanahu wa ta'ala because the angels have written in the books already against you. And those prayers are not accepted because you are involved in shirk billah. So let's look at spirituality. Now, I'm not talking about our people, our brothers and sisters, or Africans, mainly a lot of Africans in particular. But African Americans are coming up on this as well. Those who are not Muslims who practice this, I'm not talking about you. Because that's because there's no compulsion in Islam. So I'm not trying to tell you, you have to go by Islamic tenets. No, I'm not talking about you. You practice what you want. And you say, well, yeah, I don't understand what you're doing here. How you can tell these people so forth and so on. Well, my brothers and sisters, you look at the last surah near the last of the three ikhlas. Subhanahu wa ta'ala has made it clear here the differences between us and why there's no compulsion in the religion. And he's told you that I really hate to have this one. It's in English. I wish I get my book. Anyway, a clause. This basically, again, is Tawheed. You remember when Subhanahu wa ta'ala tells you in this surah that you, the disbelievers, you believe what you want, we believe what we want. It's no harm to you. You go ahead. This is what you want, but this is what we want. Okay. And so, we have no compulsion. So our brothers who are involved in juju, our brothers involved in obia, our brothers and sisters involved in voodoo or orissa. These are some are traditional African religions. I ain't talking about you tonight. We're talking about the Muslims who have adopted these things. And we're trying to save our people from that because it's a corruption. It's a paradox. How can you say you believe in Subhanahu wa ta'ala, but yet still when you have Malays, you don't make dhikr to him to ask him to forgive you or to help you to get well. You say your inner self can do this. And so this is a conflict. So we know the spirituality, the kuffar define it as something as an individual trait, desire, and practice where you try to bring peace and harmony into your life through meditation, through your own quote unquote inner powers. In Islam, when you look at this spirituality, which we don't really have it in this context, but if we wanted to talk about it in the English part of it, then ours is Tawheed. Bottom line, the oneness of Subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's the spirituality for us. The bottom line is Tawheed. Believing in Subhanahu wa ta'ala. Making ta'at. Remember this word again, making ta'at on Subhanahu wa ta'ala and upon his messenger, alayhi salatu salam. This is spirituality for us. Reading the Quran on a regular basis and implementing it in your life. That's spirituality in Islam. Making prayer on time, praying to subhanahu wa ta'ala, making your wudu before your prayer, and you make your wudu, your ablution, then you go make your prayer. That's spirituality in our mind, in Islam. When you have a malaise, there's something wrong. You have been angry for weeks. You have jealousy, or you've been angry with your wife. What do? We go and make dhikr. We have other things that we do as well, which I'll cover. And so this is the difference between us and them. The Muslims who are adopting this spirituality are not Muslims. I want that understood because they're involved in shirk billah. You can't assign any partners to subhanahu wa ta'ala. You cannot add to his religion. He's already, remember, completed it in Surah 5, verse 3. He told you he's completed the religion. So it's over. Now we have African Americans in particular, because I'm focusing on my folks there in the United States who have adopted this madness. And they're trying to say this part of their Akida. And so this is why I'm talking today. I've seen enough of it now on YouTube. It's sickening. And I wanted to make sure some other people saw the same thing, because I want to make sure I'm right in what I heard and what I see. And the people came back with the same synopsis. So, my brothers and sisters, when you hear any brother or sister talking about some spirituality, and they start to tell you, they even mention the word and they begin to mix it with the Aqeedah, you tell them, hey, brother, what you doing here, man? You're involved in shirk billah. And don't let it go. Now, you can step away from them, no problem. It's best to do that. But if you have the knowledge to take them on, you take them on, because you should. Because your job, our job, is to protect our religion. That's the bottom line. Don't let nobody hijack it. I don't care if it's me or anybody else. If I'm involved in shirk billah, I should be called on it. Because especially if I'm trying to bring people to that, you have to call me on it. Because this is our religion. And we, in subhanahu wa ta'ala, has ordered us. Our prophet has ordered us to fight in the cause of Allah. This is part of jihad. Yes, part of jihad. This type of struggling here to preserve the religion, to keep it in its original state. We have all kind of things happening in our religion today. We have this Rohaniyin. We have the Qadiyin. The Qadirin. These are the people who are believing the Qadr Allah, but they have added things to it. There's a whole bunch of other sects. And you remember something. As I always say, my brothers and sisters, always remember something. Subhanahu wa ta'ala has made some things clear about how we worship. Our prophet, alayhi salatu wasalam, has given you a guide by telling you that he says 73 Jamaat, Islamiyah, talking about groups like these people here, Rohaniyin, or these people like this, and all these other groups. They're the 72 is going to the fire. There's only one that's going to heaven, to Jannah. That's those who follow his way. These people here don't follow the way of the prophet. They don't. So they're part of the 72 that's going to the fire. You stay away from them. I've been harping on this the last couple of weeks. I want to make sure the brothers and sisters understand. There's only one way. There's the Quran and Sunnah. There's no spirituality in it. There's no deviation of the Qadr Allah. There's no so-called, you bring up the jinn to help you in your battles against alcohol and all this other type of stuff. It's none of that. Stay away from these groups that are involved in innovations and adding things to the religion. It'll take you to the fire. Be careful, my brothers and sisters. And our prophet gave us the impetus. He said, look, if they're not following my way, they're at the 72. I'm talking about it's going to the fire. Stay away from them, my dear brothers. Be very careful. That's why I'm giving you the information here now. So that way you can go back, do your research, And you probably come across people who's telling you things like this. Now you can kind of combat them. Now, as I already said to you about this. The notes I have here talking about this serious issue. The Rohaniyin, this is what we call the spirituality. These are the ones who say they're Muslims, but they're introducing this kufr and this shirk into Islam. And they're all over YouTube. They're everywhere, brothers and sisters. I mean, everywhere. And you'll see them, and they'll be disguised where it'll fool you. You see them wearing this in Arabic, turban. You see them wearing niqab. I mean, you see them looking meticulous like a strong Muslim or Muslima, but they're not. Today, the Muslim is facing attacks upon his Aqeedah. Have I been saying weeks? We must learn our Aqeedah, my brothers and sisters. You have to take courses in this the best way you can. Even if you got a book and you read even if it's in English, you can't read the Arabic, but at least you get some basis of our Aqeedah. You have to, in order to strengthen yourself against this type of madness and against this kufr and shirk that's been thrown at us now. And these individuals will say that they're Muslims. They'll tell you straight out. They'll tell you, I'm a Muslim. But their mission is to take you from the Aqeedah Islamiyah. This is the thing, and to bring you to spirituality. And then the next thing you know, I saw this sister, I said a couple of weeks ago, I was blown away. I saw her a couple of times. She's friends with me on Facebook, your friends. And I thought she was a meticulous sister. I never paid too much attention to. One day, her program popped up, and this type of stuff was spilled out. Here she is meticulous. She had a beautiful hijab. She looked like a strong Muslimah. And what I saw was she had 4 tubab. Tubab. For those who don't understand tubab, that means European, white American, or a black white man, Uncle Tom. We call them tubab. This is a real word in the Mende, Fula, Mandinka language. There are 4 tubab. They were psychologists misleading the Muslims. When I saw her, I put in a chat, I said, "Dear sister, from which Aqeedah are you using here?" She never answered it. And so their mission is to take you from the Aqeedah Islamiyah, to take you from the Sharia Islamiyah. They're bringing you to the devil. That's essentially what's going to happen. If you notice these people involved in spirituality, look at the actors and many athletes. What happened to many of them? They go crazy. They get hooked on drugs. They make suicide, all because of this so-called spirituality. You see them, you hear them. I went up to the ocean and I spent time doing this and that. They didn't worship Subhanahu wa ta'ala. They worshiped the jinn. And they were asking the jinn to come to assist them. And when the jinn couldn't fulfill their problems, they off themselves. Or they end up taking drugs and they off themselves by overdosing. How many actors, black and white, who've been involved in this are dead today from this belief, from the spirituality? You hear them talking how they're deeply spiritual and so forth. And then months later, a year later, you hear about them overdosing on coke, on meth. I mean, this is what I'm talking about. So don't be friendly with them. You be harsh, because these people are hypocrites and they're involved in shirk billah. Be careful of them, my brothers and sisters. Be harsh with them. You don't eat with them. You don't associate with them. Now, if you know the brother and you know the sister, you can go to him and say, "Hey, Yahya, look, brother, I must tell you, man, you're involved in this spirituality. We're Muslims. We can't do this." And you have the right. You come and you talk to Yahya and you tell him, if I turn back around and tell you, hey, man, look, I don't know if you're talking about it. Hey, this is part of Islam. Walk away from it. You did your job. You tried to bring me to the right way. I refuse. Move on. That's the best way. Don't sit and keep arguing with them, because if he's that involved and entrenched in it, stay away from it. That's the best way. That's the takfir that you make, meaning the expedition by staying away from him. Don't go further than that, because if you don't have the knowledge to deal with him on the subject, then back away, my brothers and sisters. That's the best way. And leave Yahya alone. Let him to his kufr and his shirk. That's the best way. My sister says, Sister Mina says that a Sharia path, a Muslim can have proximity to God if he or she maintains a sustained relationship with God through religious involvements such as prayer, fasting, Quran reading, Hajj. Yes, what our dear sister has said here is true. Because if you notice this, most Muslims, as a general rule, don't have these malaises. They become psychopaths. They become sociologists. I mean, they become psychopaths and what's the other? I forgot some of the other. They become, bizarre. Muslims don't have this. But Muslims who end up into this are those who have went away from what our sister has said here. They went away from their prayer. They went away from their fasting. They went away from dhikr Allah. This is what the spirituality people want you to do in Islam. They want you out of that. They want you to stop to pray. They'll tell you, oh yeah, you pray. But eventually you'll get out of it, because why? You'll be doing yoga. You'll be doing some of this other stuff. You'll be doing deep meditation where you're humming to the jinn, to the shayatin. You won't be praying anymore. This is where they get you. This is where they want you. So be mindful of that, my brothers and sisters, that in Islam, we have remedies for malaises such as this. We have remedies, and they're time proven. Matter of fact, let's talk about one of them. There's Muslim psychologists and so forth who've done studies, and they've shown that the people who are grounded in Islam, praying and so forth, fasting, they checked the brainwaves, and they found something very interesting. They found the sakina, meaning a kindness and tranquility in their brainwaves. Those involved in this type of thing, and the I have to say it this way, and the Eurocentric Christianity and some of the Jewish sects out there now, they found their waves turbulent. Why is that? My brothers and sisters, that's very interesting, isn't it? See, so it goes to show you there's something to our religion. And we also know, too, that prostration also helps in clearing the head. We know this as well. And there's other health benefits to this. So now we know that the enemy, these people are enemy to you, my brother and sister. When you see Yahya, he comes to you and he say, hey, Muhammad, how you doing, man? I heard you got some problems. You had problems with your wife. Man, go to your inner self, man. It's there. You have the power. You have the power to change everything. Go to your inner self. You do this. You meditate, and you'll find a way. Get away from that man when he tells you that. That is not Islamic. That's kufr and the shirk. Get away from that. Now, Subhanahu wa ta'ala has demanded upon us, if you are a Muslim, to follow his way. And have you noticed something as well, my brothers and sisters? The brave ways of those who have been tested when they're reading the Quran are sakina, tranquil, peaceful. That's interesting, isn't it? And let's go something further, my brothers and sisters. When you recite the kalima, meaning the words, the kalimat, Allah, from the Quran, over water. Now, two Bob scientists and one Japanese scientist, some years back, now 10 years ago, did a study on this. because a Muslim scientist told them, have you ever tested the water when reading over? They said, no, they never heard of such a thing. They began to test the water after it was prayed upon, meaning you had water here, and you used the words of subhanahu wa ta'ala, you used the verse, and you prayed over the water. They found the water to be significantly improved. There's proof on it. They're all over YouTube showing that. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. So there is something. That means subhanahu wa ta'ala, the words coming from the Quran is shifa. It's a healing to you, my brothers and sisters. Not the inner soul, your inner strength. Yes, you have a soul, but you're limited in what you can do. This is why when things are so bad, what did subhanahu wa ta'ala tell you to do? Return to him and to the messenger. That's where you get your answers. And you follow the favored generations by making that dhikr, making the dhikr. And I'm gonna tell you something, my brothers and sisters. I'll get into one thing because I'm gonna give you some things that help you. One of the best things that can happen for you as a Muslim, when things are really, you're angry, okay? I mean, we're all angry. Are you crying over? I mean, we all do it. You have a bout with jealousy. We're human beings. We can't help that. The thing's going to happen. The best thing to do is go and make wudu. Especially after you visit the restroom, you make wudu and you come out and make 2 rak'ats. That means 2 units of prayer. Fatiha, and that's it. You don't have to recite. You don't have to recite a verse in the Quran other than the Fatiha, and that's it. These 2 things here are beautiful. Now you say, Yahya, that sounds like bid'ah. What you're going to do this in between. If you remember the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, when he talked about something, he said he was walking. He saw footsteps above him in Jannah. When he continued walking on, he saw Bilal. So he asked Bilal, because he saw Bilal. He said, Bilal, what are you doing? Where I said your footsteps above mine in Jannah. He told the Prophet, ﷺ, he says, after I visit the restroom, I make 2 rak'ats. Okay, he makes wudu and he go make 2 rak'ats. This is the sunnah, my brothers and sisters. This is approved sunnah. There's something to it. Our ancestral brother, Rahmatullah alayh, he did this. The Prophet approved it. So this is one of the remedies, the shifa for us. When you are hot, I mean, you know what? Go in the bathroom. You use the bathroom, go in there, make your wudu. Make your wudu. And then you go out and you make 2 units of prayer. And see how you feel at that time. Really concentrate on that. And you ask subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless you and to give you shifa, to help, give you healing from your anger. And he will if he wills it. But you should put this into practice, my brothers and sisters, because this is one of the things. If you want to be a very devout Muslim, you have to do these things like this that I'm talking about, and I will talk about tonight. You have to, my brothers and sisters, and or if you want to. Now, if you want to be a regular Muslim, you say you're Muslim, you make your prayers, you make the psalm, and so forth and so on. That's up to you. You will deal with that on Yom Kiyama, because there's 10 Nawakid. I've covered that in previous things here months ago. Here, 10 nullifiers of your Islam. You got to be very careful when you don't seek knowledge. And all you say is, look, you know what? Hey, man, I'm Muslim. I pray. I make song. I don't read the Quran. I don't learn anything about the Sharia. I don't know anything about the Hadith, but I do pray. I do make song. And I don't drink. I don't smoke. I don't fornicate. You'll hear this a lot now in modern times. It's not enough. Then the Waqat number 10 talks about that. You got to be very careful of that. So we should strive hard to work hard in our deen, because we're gonna all pass one of these days. And we want the best record possible when we're in the grave. So you have to work at it, my brothers and sisters, all of us. So now let's look at the crookedness of the spiritualist Muslim. What he tries to do is put doubt in your mind and in your heart about the kalimat Allah. Because when they tell you, you have arrogance, you have this, you have that, you should, here's what you have to do. You got to go to your inner self. You need to examine your heart. And this is what you need to do. There's no mention of the Quran and the Sunnah. It isn't no mention of anything in that. He or she tells you to do this. That's not the answer, my brothers and sisters, because he's putting doubt, or she's putting doubt in you when you tell, because you said, look, when I have problems like this, I go sit down and I get my prayer beads. I wish I had mine here, right here. And I make dhikr Allah. He or she's telling you, no. You go and look to your inner self. Go meditate. Go sit in the corner somewhere and meditate. Meditation, that's not what we do in Islam. We don't have meditation to the jinn. We don't go sit in the corner and meditate and stuff like that. We make dhikr Allah. This is what we do as Muslims. The spiritual Muslim, this is what he's telling you to do, to put doubt into the Aqeedah, put doubt in the words of Subhanahu wa Ta'ala and his promise to you as a Muslim. They're trying to put doubt. So you remember that and be mindful of that. Here's the other thing that these people try to do. And this is very interesting. This is a calling card. I'm giving you things so you, when these people come around you, you'll start watching and see them if they're part of these people here. One of the things that they do is they use what we call tahrif al-kalam in Arabic. This is the perversion of the words of Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. They're good at this, my brothers and sisters. They'll take the words and to convince you to go into the spiritual world, to deal with the jinn and deal with the shaitan, and they'll misuse the words of the Quran. Yes, my brothers and sisters. They will misuse and tell you that a certain meaning in the Quran in order to fool you and trick you into going into the spirituality world. This is one of the traits they have. We call this in Islam tahrif al-kalam. It's a big subject. It's part of another verb that deals with changing. And I've talked about this. I gave a class on this for about 4 or 5 months ago. It's a serious thing. The people who do this stuff, Subhanahu wa Ta'ala tells you in the Quran, he's going to send you to the fire for it. And I've been harping about again, I've talked to brothers about this, getting the Quran and misusing the words to it. You must study the Quran, all of us. I study all the time. You have to, because it's not easy. And you have to keep up your studies, my brothers and sisters. And one of the traits that these people have is that this tarif al-kalam, or version of Subhanahu wa Ta'ala's words. And also, they'll get the highest in the Quran, the verses in the Quran, and they'll misuse them to make you think that spirituality and the cosmos are right. This is some of the traits that they have. When you hear these people start talking about the alignment of the stars or some type of thing, because the wind comes this day from this direction, and they start telling you about these type of things, you be very mindful of them, be very careful of them. Now, also, here's the way you trump them, my brothers and sisters. When these spirituality Muslims come to you with all this madness, and they start talking, you ask them, I hear what you're saying here. And give me the haya in the Quran that you're using that gives me the proof of what you're trying to tell me to do. You ask them that. When this person gives you this verse, even if you don't have the knowledge to do the tafsir, you can still go to Google. There's some in English that can give you a guide to help you. And it'll tell you right there, these people are wrong. I'm just giving you ammunition because my brothers and sisters, they're everywhere now. They're in YouTube. They're in Facebook. They're in masjids. They're even in Muslim countries now trying to spread this. And it's serious. It's a serious matter. Now, here's another trait that they have, my brothers and sisters. They make war on our scholars and our people of knowledge and our intellectuals in Islam. They make war on them. This is how you know them, because they don't want to be exposed. So what they do is when they're being exposed, they go after the scholars. They go after students of knowledge. They go after the intellectuals in Islam. They begin to fight them by calling them names. Oh, he's arrogant. He's this. He's that. Because they've been exposed. And even some will tell you, you have no right to even correct them. They have just misled 100 people on YouTube by giving something from spirituality. It's wrong. It's shirk, billah. When you go to them and say, hey, brother, what are you doing? This verse here doesn't mean spirituality. You're wrong. They'll come back on you and say, oh, you know what? Oh, man, you know what? You're arrogant, man. You're arrogant. The scholars don't do that. Oh, really? They don't correct you when you're ordered to in the Quran. Subhanahu wa ta'ala order you to do this. Of course, you have to be subtle in your way. But shirk billah, you cannot let it go, my brothers and sisters. You cannot let shirk billah. You cannot let that go. When someone promotes that, you must call them on it if you're able to. And this is one of the things that they do, is they go after the scholars. They go after students of knowledge, and those the intellectuals of Islam, they go after them a lot. I mean, they go after them a lot. They'll tell you that what you believe is silly. They'll say things like that to you. When you tell them there's a ruling on here, they'll tell you, oh, man, you know what? Oh, that's silly. Why should I do that? Or they'll tell you, look, man, I'm not living in a Muslim country. I'm living here in LA. So why do I need to follow that? These are the spirituality people. This is what they'll tell you. This is how you know some of them. They'll tell you they don't need to follow the Sharia. So this is something, my brothers and sisters, that we have to be very, very mindful of, and please be careful of them. If you have the knowledge to deal with them, then you do. But deal with them in the right context. No way do you sit there and let Yahya use Tarif al-Kalam, corrupting the words of Subhanahu wa ta'ala, and bringing people shirk billah to them so they'll walk away from the show believing in shirk billah. You cannot, my brothers and sisters. You cannot. You must take them to task to protect your brothers and sisters, even if you can't see them. You must protect them. This is your job, because it's why. Muslim, aku Muslim. A Muslim is the brother to every Muslim. He doesn't hurt him. He doesn't surrender him to his enemy. This is what our prophet has told us. This is why it's important, my brothers, why I'm talking to you. You are my brothers and sisters. So I'm giving you ammunition to help you, because I don't want you to see you take this madness from these kuffar. This is what they are. These Rohaniyin, they're kuffar. Yes, they see them. You see them in turbans. You see them even look like this with beards. You see them with niqab. You see them with meticulous hijabs. But they're kuffar, my brothers and sisters. They're kuffar. They walked away from the Aqeedah and they brought in a new Aqeedah, which is shirk billah. And when they start dealing with the Shayatan, you're gone. It's finished. You're over. It's over for you. Now, one of the heights in the Quran talks about this type of thing, and this is Surah 2, This is Bakra, and the Haya, the verse is 128. And 128, Subhanahu wa ta'ala has told us here that, where we at? Okay. Yeah, show us places for, no. It's not 128. Yeah. Oh, excuse me. I am. That's excuse me. That's not Bakra. Excuse me. That's Surah 6. Yeah, Surah 6. I'm sorry. Yeah, Surah 6. It's 172. I'm sorry. Surah 6, and it's verse 128. Okay, 172. Okay. It's 128. Okay. I'm sorry, my brothers and sisters, take me a little bit here. I'm trying to make my point. Okay. Okay, here it is here. Subhanahu wa ta'ala says here, and this is Surah 6 and verse 128. One day will he gather them all together and say, O ye assemble of the jinns, much told, did ye take of men? Interesting. Their friends amongst men will say, or our Lord, we may profit from each other. But alas, we reached our term which thou didst appoint for us. He will say, the fire will be your dwelling place. You will dwell therein forever, except as Allah willeth. For thy Lord is full of wisdom and knowledge. My brothers and sisters, this here tells you exactly what I've been talking about. When you are trumped and fooled by men to bring you to the world of the jinn and to start to rely on them and on the shaitan, your dwelling place is not heaven, it's the fire. So be very mindful of that, my brothers and sisters, to make that. My sister said here, assalamu alaikum, my dear sister Abina. We as Muslims are guided by Subhanahu wa ta'ala and by our prophet. We are not in, this is not a democratic ways and means. When the prophet tells us something and gives us something and tells us what to do, we do it. We don't ask questions and say, why are you asking me to make wudu? Why are you asking me to make 5 prayers? We don't do that as Muslims. We have things that we must do as Muslims. We don't answer back to it. If you do have doubt, you keep it here in your heart and ask Subhanahu wa ta'ala to relieve you of it or give you an answer to clear up your doubt. Because things happen. We're a human being. There's things that we don't understand about Islam and you try to figure it out. We understand that. Now, as I said earlier, the Rohaniyin, the spiritualist Muslims, this is the term in Arabic we call that, believe that every problem can be dealt with by the jinn and by the ins and jinn and by the shaitan. Your problems that you have, they think that you can be solved by that. That's wrong. As you heard me say, again, you watch out for this. Assembly of jinns, much told did you take of men. They fooled the brothers and sisters. You hear how many they take of men. They fooled us into thinking that our inner self was so powerful because these jinn here got us fooled. This is what we're talking about, my brothers and sisters, and it can send you to the fire. This is what makes it so damaging. There's only one way in Islam, And this is the Quran and the Sunnah. This is foolproof, and this is what will get you to the promised land. Remember, Subhanahu wa ta'ala said in Surah 5, verse 3, he perfected the religion. So now that should made it easy for you. You follow what he asked you to do in the Quran and what our prophet has done, what he said in his hadiths. That's it. You follow the best to your ability. That's all. Don't innovate. I don't care if it's a good innovation. Don't innovate. Stay away from it. If you don't have the answer, go to the scholars. If there's none available, go to the students of knowledge. If there's none available, then go to the intellectuals of Islam and get an answer about that. If you don't understand, now we have many online that can help you. But a lot of times I know you may need an answer right away. Sometimes they don't get back to you for weeks on time. I understand that. Assalamu alaikum, my dear brother, Abodi. So we have to be very mindful of that, and to make sure that we stay in tune with the Quran and the Sunnah. Now, we have many Sheikh Islams, and I won't go to that for brevity because they talked about these people here, and I'm gonna tell you something, it's harsh. They have no love for them, and they don't like them at all. And they talked about like Sheikh Tamir, Sheikh Islam, Rahimahullah. He was talking about the same issue. He said that these people, these spirituality, when you hear them on YouTube, they've made ta'at, he said, upon the armor of the jinn. My brothers and sisters, this is one of our greatest sheikhs in Islam who brought us the proofs. Sheikh Tamir, Ibn Taymiyyah, Rahimahullah, Sheikh Islam, one of the greatest scholars. He says here that he says, Thumma ja'ala ta'at ala amr jinn. That's what he says in Arabic. Because everything I'm doing here, I'm translating in English. Here he's talking in one of his fatwas. He's talking about these people that they have made ta'at, meaning obedience upon the amr means the command of the jinn. This is why, brothers and sisters, is so dangerous. You see the beautiful sister, you see her come on TV, on YouTube, you see her on Facebook, and she's pleasant, like she's tranquil, and she's talking to you, and all the while, she's trying to make you make ta'at upon the amr of the jinn. You have their inner power. You have this. You have that. Brothers and sisters, stay away from them. I cannot stress that emphatically anymore. You must stay away from them. The Sheikh Islam has talked about them. These people who are in the spirituality, they have made obeisances upon the command of the nether world, meaning those in between. Here's Subhanahu wa ta'ala, here's you, here's the jinn and ins here, and the shayatin, the devils, and so forth and so on. That's where they made their command. They're now with these people. With this, the jinn and ins, that's who they're following now. And that's going to take you to the fire. Now, as I said before, to be cured in Islam, we have proven ways of doing things. I will talk about some of this and we'll close. We have in the Quran a set of verses in the Quran we call the hayat sakina, and you can translate this the verses of tranquility. You can put this in Google in English, and they'll give you a list of them. And go to some reciters. They're beautiful verses. These, Subhanahu wa ta'ala, is bringing tranquility to you. In your times when you are not happy, we all have these times. These verses will bring tranquility to you. One of the best methods to clean you, to help you, to bring you this healing is by playing the Quran the whole day or most of the day. That drives away the demons, the shayatin, okay, the demons and so forth. We call them shayatin in Arabic. They're gone. They can't stand because it's like the fire. It's like fire burning them. You play the Quran, my brothers and sisters. Even if you cannot read the words in Arabic, but you play the Quran. Fill your house full of the Quran. At nighttime, if you can do it, you play the Quran. You'll find how deep that sleep is because it calms the brain. And so I'm giving you some of the things that help you to cure you. When you have the problems of the heart, when you have the jealousies, you should go back to make dhikr. And we all have been jealous of something or another. We've had a human trait. You walk down the street, all of a sudden, a guy that you know very well, he's driving the car that you want. He's already got it. You may have a spontaneous moment of jealousy, but as Muslims, it'll go away. You congratulate, hey, thank you, Yahya. Hey man, thank you for stopping by here. I love your car. Congratulations, brother, that you got your car. This is healing. But if you go away from your brother who has a car, and you stomp away and says, you see this man, who he think he is. Now you succumbing to the shaitan. Now, I'm going to get to the shifa, the healing. I'm going to give you some things, and those, if you want to revisit this later on, I'm going to give you some things. Now, in the Muslim world, the strong Muslims are being attacked by these demons. I'm telling you, and we have people involved with the demons. We have that. We have it. And they go after the strong Muslims. You can look at the hadiths of the Prophet, ﷺ, he talks about that. Even he was attacked. So I'm going to give you some things. My brothers and sisters, if you feel, and when you're strong, and when you start to pray a lot, and subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed you, you'll know when you've been attacked. So one of the things that you can do is you can go I'll give you something like saffron. Saffron, it's an herb. You can go get the herbs, saffron. You boil the saffron about 10 minutes until the water is very yellow. You strain it. Now you say some verses over it. And you drink it. This will give you healing, especially if you feel that you've been attacked by the demons and by people who are running around with the demons. I've had this happen to me many times because I have people even around me now because the Tubab from the embassies bring these people around me. And I know I walk Fajr prayer, especially because it's dark. As a matter of fact, I was telling my wife of an incident I had when one of these devilish individuals was standing on the corner on my way because this is the place I had to go in order to get to the masjid. He was standing on the side watching me. Something hit me. Subhanallah, was like the angels told me. I ran to him and asked him, why was he here right now? And he brought the devil with him. And that's what I asked him. Because I could see in his face what he was. I know this guy was with the devil. And we have verses, my brothers and sisters, that we should recite. When you see this thing, we have things that you recite that help you protect you from them. And we have also the things of the eyes, the Ayin in Arabic, the evil eye. When the enemy of yours stare at you for a long period of time, you be careful, my brothers and sisters, with that. And you deflect it by saying three last three verses of the Quran. One of Tawheed, and then the one of the clear you of jealousy, and then the one the waswas, which is the stain of shaitan. And you say those verses, they will help you to ward off the evil eye. I'm talking about the enemy who stare at you hard. It's evil. The Prophet ﷺ talked about that. He gave us remedies for it. The spiritual people who do this kind of thing, you pray against them. There's verses that we pray, you don't pray for them because they're involved in shirk billah, and they try to pull you to the shaitan. So you talk against them, you pray against them because they're with the devil. Hasbi Allah wa ni'mal wakil is what our prophet has taught us. Subhanahu wa ta'ala has taught us in the Quran to say this as well. We only say this in given circumstances because this verse here is very powerful. And there's a hadith talking about that. You have to use it at the right time in the right circumstances. When you get ready to go to sleep and you've had a bout with the spiritualists, you have a bout with people that you know are wicked, you feel it on your body. There's some things that you can do. You can go and get a big, your wife, she can make some pots of water. And you say verses over this water. Brothers and sisters, I will tell you something about this. Okay, maybe you big pots here, you go in a shower and you put the water over you. One of the indications of infection by these people, you'll have these malaises on the skin. You don't know where they came from. This stuff is real, my brothers and sisters. Now I know you'll say, "Well, look, man, I'm in LA, I'm in Texas, I'm in Dallas. I never seen anything like that." You know why? Because the people around you are already with the devil. The devil doesn't have to push them anymore. They're already working under the devil. But in Muslim lands, the devil has to work hard to bring people to him in order to go after once he wants to go after, which is people like us, the Muslims, to get you away from worshiping Subhanahu wa ta'ala. He doesn't have to work hard anymore in the United States. You think about that. Look what's going on there in the United States. Homosexuality, drugs, murder, rampant fornication. His work is done now. He doesn't have to do anything anymore. But in Muslim countries, he has to. Because why? He attacked a woman. Because the virginity rate among the Muslim women is still high even today. He's working on that. He's trying to tell the Muslim woman, look, hey, you see your sisters over there in the United States, you see they don't hardly have no clothes on. Look at them. And they already experiencing men at 16. This is what the devil will telling our sisters. And some of our sisters have failed in this, have got involved in it. Remove the hijab. Begin to wear perfume. Begin to trance around until they had an incident with a boy. This is happening more so now than ever before. So that's why I said the devil has to work hard in Muslim countries. And he has to work hard against the Muslims because why? We have Subhanahu wa ta'ala. We have prayer. We have wudu. And you remember something. Surah 8, verse 11. Subhanahu wa ta'ala said he sent down the rain so that what? The rain can purify you. And what else? Excuse me. And purify you and remove the stain of shaitan from your body. This is a verse. This is Surah 8. My favorite one was Anfal, Surah Anfal. And the verse is 11. That water is there to purify you and remove the stain of shaitan from you, my brothers and sisters. So that's one thing that you can do. So I gave you can take water, you can take saffron, you can take black seed. Everybody should know about black seed. In Arabic, we call hepa soda, but in English, black seed. You take the oil and water, or you can take the seed and make a tea out of it, which I talk about a lot of herbs here in Morocco. As a matter of fact, there's a lot of people that I assist on herbs, so I'm pretty good at this. But you can take even black seed and you brew it for about 10 minutes, and then you pray over it and you drink it. This also helps you. Amina here, she's talking about this, about the herbs. We know these things to work. Now, also here, there's the other thing you can do with your water. You've been around these people. and you can feel them. You can feel that. I'm telling you, once you becomes very strong, these things will try to take you from that. You can take your water, now put it where the Quran is being recited. You know where your TV is, and say you put on the Quran, okay, recitation of the Quran, and you can keep it there a couple of minutes, 50 minutes, or 10 minutes, whatever. And the words of the Quran goes into the water, and you can use this water to drink or to bathe with, and so forth and so on. It works. And those who come late or have gotten, the scientist has shown that when you use the words of the Quran in water, it greatly improves it. But the Bible doesn't. When they've tested little babies, they've walked through the mall, the babies are crying. Suddenly, the Adhan is being played, or the Quran suddenly is being played. The kid has tranquility. Interesting, isn't it? Not when the Bible verses are being read, but when the Quran is being read. They show testing of this where even the animals, remember, the animals make dhikr, they make prostration, not prostration, but they make remembrance to Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. And you know how cats are very shrewd and smart. And they show in YouTube some years back now, where the brother put the Quran on a table or on the floor or near floor on the table, small table. And the cat was there. The cat was hungry. So he put the food next to the Quran. The cat didn't walk over the Quran. He walked around it. He thought it was interesting. So he did it again. He gave the cat a little bit what the favorite, he was his cat. The cat walked around the Quran to get the little treat. That's right. So when he put the Bible, the cat walked over it, through it to get to his treat. But the Quran, he walks around it. That's right, my brothers and sisters. It's very interesting, isn't it? So there's something to it. Now, at nighttime, when you get ready to go to bed, every Muslim should recite at least 3 verses. Now, our prophet has given us a lot of direction in this regard. If you can read the Quran good enough, he's given you certain surahs that you can say, that you can read, in bed or before you get to bed to go into the bedroom to protect you. And there's 3 verses in particular that you should say at night. And those 3 are the last 3 verses, and you recite them. You blow after you recite it. You blow because now you recited the words of Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. And you begin to wipe. These are things I'm giving you. This is what the strong Muslims do. Because I'm going to tell you something. This stuff is real. When you're a strong Muslim, you'll know that you've been attacked. Because remember something, Subhanahu wa Ta'ala will never guide you to do something wrong. The shaitan will. And when you know that you're human and you're weak, you're vulnerable at this time, all of a sudden he tells you, hey, you know what? Now, why don't you go over and take that thing there? Nobody's looking. Go over and take that. Nobody can see you. Go ahead and steal it. This is what I'm talking about. When you are visited by one of these demons, there's things that you can say to drive the demon away. You can say the Fatiha if you want to drive him away, because he doesn't want to hear the Quran, because it's like fire to them. And of course, you can recite A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. That drives the demons away. I'm giving you all of these things that help you. Just because you're sitting in the United States, don't think that you're not being visited. Because the people that you're around every single day are among those people. and you need to be protected from them. And let me tell you something, the Shaitan, how many brothers have been disaffected by this type of thing? They will send to the strong Muslim a woman who's a devil worshiper. And they'll bring this woman and she be gorgeous, perfect skin, hair, the way her body, she wears the perfume, the whole thing, to trap you, to get you out from Tawheed, to make you do something wrong. We've had brothers involved in this in the United States. The Shaitan will come to you and say, yeah, I know you want to get married, but there's some sisters over here, you should marry them. And out of anxiousness, out of listening to the Shaitan, you go marry a girl that you should not. And she's not a Muslim on top of that. How many brothers are sitting in jail or have had divorces and have lost everything because they married ruthless women? They were no good. They shouldn't have married those women because they weren't Muslim. I understand as a man, you want to fulfill your obligations in marriage as a Muslim, because we are not to have sexual relations outside of marriage. We can only have it within the marriage framework. I understand that. And so you go marry the girl, and because, again, you didn't understand the Sharia, you thought you could marry a girl just because she says she's a Christian. It doesn't work like that, my brothers and sisters. As I explained in other classes before on this, you got to be very careful of that. Just because she's Christian doesn't mean that she's able for you to marry. There's some conditions that have to be met, and most of the Christian women today don't meet them. And so we have these things to happen. So be mindful of that, my brothers and sisters. And, I'm about ready to close here. And just think about those things. If something happens to you where you're not sure about something that you heard, get a hold of me. Send me the tape. And you can, I used to give, I have my, I don't know if I have my, let's see here. Oh, it's Arabic. If you have questions, my brothers and sisters, okay, you can get a hold of me right there, private. And if you heard something on YouTube or on Facebook and you're not sure of it and you're thinking about following it, but you're not sure of it, remember, we as Muslims, we must seek out the people of knowledge. We must find answers to a problem. If somebody's telling you something and you're not sure, go to somebody who knows. That's what Subhanahu wa Ta'ala tells you. Remember in this verse, he tells you to go to the people who know. If there's something that you're not quite understanding, please get a hold of me. Let me know. If you see something on YouTube, you send me the link, I can watch it and so forth and so on. And say, is this correct? And so forth. Hey, we all do that. If I have a problem, say I'm weak in inheritance, I go to people of knowledge who are experts in that. When I was having problems dealing with the sorcery, okay, it was bad, especially where I used to live. It was bad, my brothers and sisters. The sorcery was around me a lot. I didn't have the answers. I found a Sheikh Islam who did have the answers. I learned from him. This is what we have to do. Don't let jealous crap, the crap, the barrel and the crab Negroes that we know a lot in the United States who don't want to learn from another black man stuff. Okay, we know them. Don't let them take you from knowledge, my brothers and sisters, because we don't know all. And so I went to the man to understand sorcery, the Sheikh Islam. He was expert in that. I took class from him because I didn't know. And I wanted to make sure I was right. When I didn't understand financing, I went to what? A Sheikh Islam to learn. This is what we do as Muslims. There's no harm in that. And just make a difference who you get to know. You get the right knowledge from the right person. That's what I mean. But we have too many African Americans, Muslims, who will stop other Muslims to get knowledge because they don't want you to get it from another black man. This we know this is happening too much, and we should stop that. But if you don't understand something, find somebody to get an answer to, my brothers and sisters. This is the way we do things in Islam. So I gave you my email there. You can write me, and if, if there's something wrong, please let me know. So a boulder said here, sister tried it with my cats and they wouldn't walk. Yes, he's talking about the same thing. Our brother here said the same thing here. They tried that experiment. When I saw that, I thought it was funny when I saw that, and I said to myself, I said, what is the cat going to do? And I'm nervous because I'm going to see if the cat is going to actually walk on the. He didn't walk on it. So our brother here explained the same thing, and that it's interesting. And one of the things too I find fascinating is I saw this one child in a mall, and the child was crying and crying and crying, and then when the adhan played, the child stopped crying. It had instant tranquility. But then when the adhan stopped, the baby started crying up again. This is the miracle of the Quran, my brothers and sisters. This is why we should stick to it. Don't let anybody take you from it. These people, these spirituality people who are supposed to be Muslims, don't let them take you from the words of Subhanahu wa Ta'ala and take you from the Quran. When you don't feel good and you're upset, you're angry, you are weak, you seek Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, you take it to him and to his messenger, our Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam. You go to the Quran, go to the people of knowledge and ask questions. If you don't feel good, you pray, you go make wudu, you make 2 rak'ahs of Subhanahu wa Ta'ala after you visit the restroom, and you make your wudu and make 2 prostrations, and you ask Subhanahu wa Ta'ala to give you shifa, that's healing, and you ask him for that. If there's something, if you feel that you've ingested something, you don't feel good about it, go get saffron. As I said, brew it. You just take a pinch in a coffee cup. Take a pinch. You let it brew for 10 minutes until it's very yellow. Stir it constantly. Remove the contents of the saffron and drink it. This will give you shifa as well. Black seed. Take black seed. You take about a teaspoon of black seed. You put hot water, very, very hot water. You let it brew for about 10, 15 minutes. Stir it till the water is black. Strain it and drink it. All of these things here help you in fighting against the evil forces. Subhanahu wa Ta'ala will bless you for this. Our prophet talks about black seed. And we know saffron is also used to ward off evil things. So I'm giving you these things, my brothers and sisters, to help you, because this stuff is real. And you, especially living in the West, you're around the devil worshipers all the time. They don't tell you who they are, but they are that. And you're always being visited by the shaitan to tell you, hey man, let's go to the barbecue place. Let's go eat some pork ribs. Let's go get us a barbecue sandwich. You go inside the store, here's a shaitan that's going after you. Hey man, look, remember before you're Muslim, you used to eat the pork sausage there? There's a hot link sausage from Louisiana. Why don't you go in and get some? Nobody's going to know, man. It's not going to hurt you. Go get those pork sausages from Louisiana. You're always being revisited. You go in the store and it's hot. Shaitan say, hey, look, there's a Colt 45 malt liquor there. Why don't you remember you used to drink that? Go back to that. There's nothing wrong with that. It's hot. This is what the shaitan will do to get you to do something wrong. My brothers and sisters, this happened to brothers and sisters in America and in Western countries a lot. They get tricked by the shaitan who keeps putting pressure on them. This is why you have to learn to say verses of the Quran. When you feel the shaitan ordering you, A'udhu billahi shaitan regime. He's gone. Just by saying that, the shaitan's gone. Now he was over telling Yahya, go over there and get the pork sausage. Go over there and get it from Louisiana. There it is right there. It's on sale today. Go over there and get it. Buy it. You're in the store now. Go ahead and buy it. A'udhu billahi shaitan regime. And he's gone. And you feel it too. So my brothers and sisters, this is something that Bodhi Gibbs told my little son at birth. When I recited the dance softly in his ear, he stopped crying immediately. The doctor commented on it. Yes, this is something the Muslims do a lot. They say the adhan in the ear of the child, and we do things like this. And there's a lot of things that we do to help us in this. So, my brothers and sisters, I will end this. Again, the spirituality, again, I'm not talking against the brothers and sisters who are involved in this who are not Muslims. That's your world. You do it. As Subhanahu wa ta'ala said, you to you and mine to mine. We worship what we worship, you worship what you worship. I'm talking about the Muslims who bring in spirituality into Islam, who I talked against tonight. These are the ones I'm talking about to fight them, not you, my brothers and sisters, who are involved in spirituality and so forth. You to what you are, because there's no compulsion in Islam. I can't come and say, hey, look, you're wrong. Abina, you're wrong. Amina, you're wrong. There's no compulsion. I can't force you. I'll let you to what you believe. This is what you believe, you believe. I'll let you to it. I believe what I believe. This is the Islamic way. Now there's dawah, but I won't get into that. But that's just the cursory to let you know. Our sister Bean says, yes, it's the word of Tawheed to the child when the child is born. This is very, very true. So my brothers and sisters, thank you for showing up. And those, I know the classes like this are mundane. I understand that because the classes like this are designed for the Muslims, who looking to strengthen their faith and to move up the ladder. Instead of being just a regular Muslim, they want to be now a movement. This is what our Aqeedah is about. It's mundane. Most Muslims don't want to know about it. They don't want to even hear about it. They only want to take classes in it. They don't care. But they don't understand Tawheed. They don't understand the Aqeedah. So this is why I give this. Even if there's 3 people that listen to it, I'm happy. I'm satisfied because at least I'm trying to help them to move up the ladder to being a movement instead of a regular movement. So my brother Abodi, my sister Bina and sister Amina, and those who will see in the chat room, thank you for showing up. And again, my brothers and sisters, if there's any questions about something, please, I left my email there. You write me a letter. If you want to look at certain type of, I have a variety of different videos now. I have Pan-African videos, and I just did one here on the Black man and his family, a 3-part series on that. You can review that, and you subscribe, and you can review that. Especially the last one about Malcolm is very emotional for me, talking about that and talking about the African Arab, the Afro Arab. I talked about that now for 2 weeks. Our relationship with them, and then also in there in my videos I have things on Tawheed. I have again on the Aqeedah. I've had Pan-Africanism about Africa because I live in Africa. I live in Fez, Morocco. I'm African. This is my home, so I love it. I want to protect it. I want to see it prosper. So I have videos even on that. So feel free to subscribe so you can get those videos and watch them and so forth and so on. Some of them I'm very hard hitting, as those know me. I don't pull no punches on things like that. So my brothers and sisters, I will leave you and take care of yourself there in the United States in particular. And my brother, sister, wherever you are, please be careful what you're doing. Please be careful what's around you, especially the devil. Please be careful. I'll leave you with these beautiful words from this beautiful language of Arabic. Assalamu alaikum, rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.